Analysis of a file, particularly one described as the Hartford County incident, necessitates reliable access to the Internet. When Internet connectivity is unavailable, the ability to retrieve, examine, and assess the file is fundamentally compromised. This limitation impacts several critical aspects of incident analysis and digital forensics. Firstly, the initial step of acquiring the file becomes impossible. Without Internet access, the specified URL send space com/file/tzoh cannot be resolved and the file cannot be downloaded. This prevents any subsequent analysis of the file's contents, structure, or potential relevance to any incident under investigation. Secondly, the inability to access the file restricts the application of various analytical techniques. Digital forensics relies on tools and methods that require access to the data in question. These techniques include, but are not limited to, hash value calculation for file integrity verification, file signature analysis to determine file type, and content analysis to identify malicious code or relevant information. Without the file, these analyses cannot be performed, hindering the understanding of the incident. Thirdly, the lack of Internet connectivity also limits the ability to cross-reference information about the file or the incident it purportedly documents. Online databases, threat intelligence feeds, and search engines are valuable resources for gathering contextual information. These resources can provide insights into known malware signatures, vulnerabilities, or previous incidents that may be related to the file. The absence of Internet access isolates the analysis, preventing the enrichment of findings with external information. Fourthly, in situations where a file is suspected of containing malicious content, the inability to retrieve it poses a risk mitigation challenge. Security protocols often involve isolating potentially harmful files in a sandbox environment for analysis. This allows security professionals to observe the file's behavior without risking infection of the primary system. Without Internet access, the file cannot be transferred to a sandbox environment for safe analysis, increasing the potential risk if the file is later accessed through other means. Fifthly, the limitations imposed by the absence of Internet connectivity highlight the importance of robust offline analysis capabilities. Organizations should invest in tools and techniques that allow for effective analysis of digital evidence even when Internet access is restricted. This may involve maintaining local copies of relevant databases, developing offline analysis workflows, and training personnel to conduct investigations in disconnected environments. Sixthly, in cases where Internet access is temporarily unavailable, it is crucial to establish a process for prioritizing and deferring analysis tasks. Files that are deemed critical to an ongoing investigation should be prioritized for retrieval and analysis once connectivity is restored. This ensures that the most important leads are pursued promptly. Seventhly, the ethical considerations surrounding file access and analysis must be taken into account. Even when Internet connectivity is available, analysts should adhere to legal and ethical guidelines regarding data privacy, consent, and the proper handling of sensitive information. These considerations are particularly important when dealing with files that may contain personal data or information related to ongoing criminal investigations. Eighthly, the challenges presented by limited Internet connectivity underscore the need for comprehensive incident response planning. Incident response plans should address scenarios in which access to critical resources is unavailable due to network outages, hardware failures, or other unforeseen circumstances. These plans should outline alternative procedures for collecting, analyzing, and preserving digital evidence in such situations. Ninthly, it's important to consider alternative methods for obtaining the file, assuming legal and ethical constraints allow. This could involve requesting the file from the original source through alternative communication channels, such as physical media or secure file transfer services, once Internet access is restored. Tenthly, the documentation of limitations and challenges encountered during the analysis is crucial. A detailed record should be maintained, outlining the steps taken, the tools used, and the obstacles faced due to the lack of Internet connectivity. This documentation will be valuable for future reference and for ensuring the transparency and accountability of the analysis process. The inability to retrieve and analyze a file due to lack of internet connectivity significantly impacts the scope and effectiveness of any incident investigation. Overcoming this limitation requires a combination of robust offline analysis capabilities, well-defined incident response procedures, and a commitment to ethical and legal considerations.